Hello, welcome to another Black History Moment reading from Black Saga. 1706. Blacks permitted to serve in North Carolina militia. Although black slaves generally had far more restrictions on their behavior than free blacks, North Carolina passed legislation specifying that all free men were required to be organized into militia units, and that in the event of attacks by Native Americans, all able-bodied men, slave and free, were required to serve. Children to take on status of mother in New York. New York passed legislation requiring that the legal status for children be determined by the condition of the mother. All and every Negro, Indian, mulatto, or Mestizo shall follow a state and condition of the mother, and be esteemed, reputed, taken, and adjudged a slave, and slaves to all intents and purposes whatsoever. A similar measure was in effect in North Carolina and Georgia, and it became the law in other parts of the South as well. New York denies slaves' rights as witnesses. New York passed legislation denying slaves the right to testify in any case involving whites. 1707. Labor competition between slaves and whites in Pennsylvania. In Philadelphia, white mechanics formed a guild to protest what they considered unfair labor competition from black slaves. 1708. Slave revolt in New York. During a slave revolt in Newton, Long Island, and New York, as many as 7 whites were killed. 3 slaves, 2 black and 1 Native American, were hanged, and a black woman slave was burned alive. 1710. Population overview. General population in North American British colonies. A total of 331,711 persons were estimated to be living in American colonies at this time. Virginia, Massachusetts, Maryland, and Connecticut were by far the most populous colonies, with 78,281, 62,390, 42,741, and 39,450 residents, respectively. They made up 222,862 total residents, or about 2/3 of all persons living in the American colonies. Blacks in North American British colonies. In this year, blacks comprised an estimated 44,866 residents in the colonies. They were clearly more numerous in the southern colonies, where 36,563, or about 81.5% of all colonial blacks lived, a proportion equal to that of the previous decade. Although all colonies experienced a relatively large increase in their black population between 1700 and 1710, the proportional distribution of blacks among the regions shifted minimally. Thank you for listening to this Black History Moment.